Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to another Webinar Wednesday hosted by CSU Bakersfield Small Business Development Center. It's great to be here on another Wednesday, our 127th consecutive Wednesday live, Zoom or no Zoom. We're here and we are Zooming today and got a great guest, a great topic, some great conversation ahead. I'm excited. This is really a dynamic and exciting topic for a lot of us that do small business development. And I get to have it with somebody who shares a common footprint with the SBDC, that being Kern, Inyo, and Mono County. So as you know, we're part of America's SBDC program in all 50 states, 7 foreign territories. Here in California, we're part of the Central California region. As I mentioned, we're located in downtown Bakersfield. Today, we're live in Ridgecrest at the AltaOne, I think they're called the Global Headquarters. AltaOne Global Headquarters in Ridgecrest, California, right in the heart of the Indian Wells Valley. But we do have 4 other centers throughout the Central California region. One of them is at Cal Poly, serving San Luis Obispo County. Have one up at Clovis College, serving the middle part of the state. Also in Modesto, serving Stanislaus and Tuolumne counties, and another center in Salinas, covering San Benedito and Monterey. Reach out to your local SBDC, and if you have any questions, any free one-on-one consulting, any training, we got a lot of programs, a lot of exciting things going on. So as you can see, we are sponsored by various organizations, and thank you to all of you on that particular page. So what's up today? Today, August 17th, 2022. Well, besides Chris Lowe's birthday 2 days ago on August the 15th, and my daughter Leslie, we're going to look at a lot of things. We're going to look at the Inflation Reduction Act. We're just going to basically talk about this. This was the first piece of legislation that really was not bipartisan. And, you know, when you start looking at a lot of the benefits that it has for small business, you see a lot of people talking about what's going to be wrong with it for small business. So being the politically adverse guy that I am, except for advocating for you small businesses, we're going to take a pass on that this week and let more things happen with the Inflation Reduction Act. The only thing I can say about it is that it must be working because they started talking about it and inflation went down this month. Coincidence? Yeah, probably. Okay. So we'll look at our capital quarter. You know, we have our capital quarter, our economic corner, that we get into on each of these Wednesdays. And today we're going to be looking at taking the deep dive into community development financial institutions, CDFIs as they're referred to. You've heard the acronym. You've heard us probably talk about it several weeks over the past year or so. Economic corner is going to take kind of a back seat today. We're getting a little tired about trying to see how small businesses are going to react to the recession, what you can do to help your business during the recession, high areas of unemployment or high areas trying to find employees in employment crisis that's kind of affecting a lot of small businesses. And also, you know, of course, inflation and other issues. So pretty much done on economic corner, maybe something briefly. EIDL's back in the news, the economic injury disaster loan. Actually, we got to cut our teeth on it here in Ridgecrest with the earthquake a couple of years ago. Basically 2 years ago, around the 4th of July. And got all revved up on it and assisted a lot of businesses with the EIDL program. EIDL programs are now coming off the deferment. We're going to work around that and probably talk about that a little bit more next week. But if you got a really early EIDL, remember that your 2-year deferment, or for some it's 30 months, is going to be coming due, and there's going to be the time to pay back that wonderful 3.75% 30-year fixed loan. Try getting one of those anytime soon. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll find one today. So we'll have an update on the remaining pandemic relief programs. Our Eastern Sierra Capital Summit is coming up, and we're going to skip the poll this week. No poll this week. So moving along on some of our key programs, as there's a lot to cover today. The California Performing Arts Grant Program is still open for nonprofits. It's a workforce development grant. We'll mention that. California Dream Fund, for those that are wanting to start a business. You know, if you go through the training, go through the consulting, write a business plan, you could be eligible for $5,000 and possibly up to $10,000 to start your small business. Now, you've heard me say this before, that's not a good reason to go through the training, the consulting, the business plan writing for $5,000. But you might be able to leverage it with a nonprofit lender, a CDFI, or someone else in order to build a bigger capital pool in order to actually start growing your business and building that sustainable business. Do it for those purposes, not for the $5,000, please. The state small business credit initiative, we won't talk much about that today, but it is almost coming to the state of California with some really interesting programs that are coming. Our Kern County micro grant program is still open for businesses that had less than $50,000 in sales in the year 2019. Other eligibility questions are going to be needed to get that $2,500, I repeat, grant. Mono County's program is still open as far as the grant and forgivable loan program. The employee retention credit can still be accessed, and Calsavers, if you have 5 employees or more, you really need to actually sign up, if you haven't yet, with the Treasury Office and start offering the Calsaver retirement program to your employees. That is as of July 1, when that was a necessary requirement. So the California Nonprofit Performing Arts Grant, this again is to help businesses, nonprofits, and actually that were in the performing arts sector. Basically first come, first serve. They have about $50 million that's out there. It's awarded to really go for employee expenses and for workforce development, really kind of focused in those areas. I believe funds are still available. I went in, you can go to Lindustry if you know somebody who would like more information. If you'd like more information on the California Dream Fund, please go to our chat. You'll find that Iris, who is filling in for our vacationing Maureen Butcher-Dang as producer for Webinar Wednesday this week, is populating the chat with all of these programs that we're talking about, where you can have instant access to them at any time. And also, if you have any questions, you will have questions. I can almost guarantee you that today. Put those in the Q&A box as we progress, and we will take questions at the very end of today's webinar as usual. So send us an email at sbdc@csub.edu. We'll give you more information on the Dream Fund program. We are currently working throughout the Central California region, filling October classes. We've had about 150 graduates to this point. There are still funds available, but again, be going for the right reason. And the right reason is to build a sustainable business out of this program. So after you complete your business plan, receive your SBDC consulting, and actually go through the training class, you'll be given a code to lindustry.com, and you can go there and actually apply for your up to $10,000. The California Micro Grant Program is still up and going. $2,500 for eligible small businesses. Mentioned the sales limit, also a limit on employees. I know I'm talking fast this week. Got a lot to go over. But really, if you are a California Micro Grant, look at the eligibility requirements. If you're eligible, apply. If you're not eligible, please don't apply, because they are being reviewed very carefully. So thank you for that. And really, if you're a small micro business, do this. Reach out to the SBDC and receive some free business consulting, and work with your consultant on building the bigger picture for your micro business. And you can do all of that by calling our office at 661-654-2856. Economic Corner. You know, it wasn't that long ago where cotton was really a huge agricultural commodity in the southern San Joaquin Valley and in Kern County for that matter. Cotton prices are spiking right now. And it's kind of interesting on the economic side of things. Cotton is a commodity, so its prices are pretty much susceptible to supply and demand curves. And you're seeing drought in Texas and throughout the Southeast, where the USDA has said up to 40% of the US cotton crop might be lost this year. So cotton prices also spiking because of oil. Interesting, huh? Oil. You know, Kern County, we like our oil. Here's another reason to like it. And it's basically because oil is a product that is used in competing fibers such as spandex and nylon, and also polyester. So when oil prices go up, those materials go up, and there you have it. So fossil fuels could be a little closer to you than you really know. Okay, that's our a very brief economic development quarter. And our capital quarter today is we're going to have a great discussion with our special guest in just a few moments on CDFI and other solutions here at AltaOne Credit Union. We also have our capital summits that are returning in person. We're very excited about that. Did mention a little bit about the state small business credit initiative. And as I like to do every time I get a lender in the room, I like to let them know about this particular program because it's so much of this program is going to be based on guarantees that come from two agencies. One is the California Pollution Control Authority, and the other one is going to be the iBank, both California institutions. But there's some really good programs that they're going to have. Hopefully it's not going to be too bureaucratic and too troublesome for lenders to make loans, but there's $900 million coming to California for these particular programs. Our Eastern Sierra Capital Summit, we're really happy to announce, is back on October 7th. It's going to be in Bishop. It's going to be at Siracoso Community College from 9 to noon. And this is where there'll be dozens of opportunities where we flip the Shark Tank table, more or less, where we have the presenters are going to be lenders. They're going to be individuals with other capital options that present to you and give you the opportunity to learn on about a dozen different programs that are out there. Our initial one back in 2017, I can just say was wildly successful. We switch it off every other year between Mammoth Lakes and Bishop. We had Bishop planned for 2020. So 2022, here we come. Coming in the winter of 2022-23 is the Kern Capital Summit, and we'll be doing that in downtown Bakersfield. Most likely, who knows, we might sneak out to the campus, the CSUB. We've done it there before. But we'll do a similar type program coming in the winter. Both of these will also have a virtual option. More coming on Webinar Wednesday. A couple things that you might be interested in. Our new CSU Bakersfield Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation is starting a new venture accelerator program. And this is a 10-week boot camp, 4 hours per Saturday, 4 Saturdays in a row. It's open to CSUB community, being students, faculty, and staff, and everybody at large. If you got an idea, that's a great opportunity to work with faculty, experts, and who knows, maybe a key staff member also. And do it to create value propositions, minimal viable products, customer validation, and oh boy, I tell you, throw all those up there, but with all the great new topics that you work on, customer validation, your customer development, understanding that you have a market for your particular product or service before you go into business is so important. So I'm sticking with customer validation on those. It's free of charge, and the first one starts in 2022. You can contact Dr. Sungbach, our Associate Dean at the School of Business and Public Administration, or Dr. Jeremy Woods. There's their contact information. I'm sure Iris will have it in the chat momentarily. Okay. Our marketing moment with our marketing maven Maureen is on vacation too, so she will be back. We've donned her with this lovely Bass Ale for her vacationing needs, and hopefully she's resting up and has a great time. Also coming up is next week is an event that we have been very active in the entire 10 years I've been here at the SBDC, and that's the Kern County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, their actual conference and expo, which is next Wednesday, starting at 1 o'clock. Jay Tansey starts it right after Webinar Wednesday every year. And it'll run from 1 to 7 p.m. The expo and networking sessions are incredibly valuable, along with the business workshops that they have. It'll be at the DoubleTree. And also the premier sponsor for that is AltaOne. So this might get another mention, I will warn you. But also coming up, and fortunately for you, I am about done, is you can go and see all of our webinars that we've had through the pandemic, with the exception of 2, so 125 of the 127. One time I forgot to push the record button, and I was told it was the greatest webinar in the history of webinars. But that's what happens. But 125, we have old ones going back to 2013. Some great old stuff in there, great content from 13 and 14. Here are some that are coming up, or some that actually happened. And some of our vintage ones going back is one of my favorites is All Signs Go Cash Flow. And really if there is a recession coming and there are going to be tough times for small businesses, being able to manage your cash flow is extremely important. And you can go see Ginny Ullman, a CPA and also a consultant with the Cal Poly Center, who did an event for us in 2017. So there you go. Okay, it's time for me to bring in our special guest. I'm really thrilled to have Stephanie Sievers, the CEO of AltaOne Credit Union, with us. I met Stephanie back at the Indian Wells Valley Economic Outlook Conference back in February, and she said one thing, first thing out of her mouth is, we're excited about what we're going to be doing far more with businesses and business funding. And after I wiped the grin off my face about 45 minutes later, I decided, hey, we got to get Stephanie on Webinar Wednesday. You know, now's the time. Got some great things to talk about as far as her CDFI. She's got a strong focus on economic development and is guiding AltaOne into ability of force to be dealt with. Prior to AltaOne, she worked with the CEO of the STAR Texas Credit Union in Austin, Texas. I hear that's a nice place, but it gets hot too. And has worked in the industry for over a decade. She's active with the credit union, national boards and committees, as well as community-based organizations. And as you can see, she's working with a lot of organizations, a lot of business groups, been doing a lot of things. She's got a little bit of energy too, people. I'll warn you right now. She has multiple degrees, and I believe that's multiple bachelor's degrees. If I think I read master's degrees is what I read. Yes, my mistake, you know, I'm proud of my bachelor's degree, you know. But yes, multiple master's degree, which makes you almost a doctor and a half with 3 of them. So, and has done thousands of hours of strategic work, CEO. Stephanie, I'm so pleased to have you with us. Come on in here and take it away.
Hey, y'all. So hi, I'm Stephanie Sievers. I'm the CEO of AltaOne. And you know, like, I'll get my hair to my face, so I'm leaning forward into this camera. So let's get that out of there so we can talk and chat and see each other very well. So there we go. So I am the CEO of AltaOne, and I'm excited to be here. I'm newish, right, to California. I am from Texas. And like I said, I am excited to be here. It's awesome here. Everybody was going to Austin, but all the cool people came from Austin to California. So we're going to leave it like that. That's right. That's right. So let's see. I don't know if there's anything else I can tell you about me. Not that interesting, but I do have a lot going on at AltaOne. It's way more interesting to talk about AltaOne. So AltaOne, you know, I don't know if y'all know this. You know, we've been around for 75 years. This is our 75th anniversary. Awesome. Right. So hometown here. We are originally out of Ridgecrest, which is where our headquarters is still, because we were formed by China Lake, right? So we started as a naval credit union. So, but our mission is to improve the inequalities that exist in income, wealth, and access to financial solutions, which is what I hope everybody here is excited to learn about, right? Financial solutions, because we do have inequalities that exist in all of those areas. And so it's really important that we stay focused on what we were chartered to do. And, you know, we're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. So it's important that we really stay true to our mission. So yeah, if y'all want to talk to me about that, I'm more than happy to talk about that. But that is what has led to us getting our CDFI designation. And we are the only CDFI headquartered in Kern County, right? And that's awesome. That's awesome for everybody in the area. And so, you know, we talked about that earlier. So we did become certified in May of this year. So we're really excited about that. What we are trying to achieve with our CDFI designation is really to look at some of the financial deserts. We have financial deserts, and how awful is that? Right? You know, we have towns that have 25,000 people and not one financial institution. So how can you really grow an economy and help a bunch of people, right? If you don't have a financial institution, you need that capital, you need those resources. And so that's really our mission, just kind of like focusing on that. And then also, you know, in some of our communities where there are other financial institutions, maybe they're still feeling limited in their access to those solutions. And so that's really what we are trying to focus on, is really just removing those inequalities. And so some of the things that we're going to be doing with our CDFI designation is focusing on education. It's really important because if you don't know things, you can't make better decisions. And so I think all that grant information that you were giving earlier, that goes towards that, right? Knowledge is power. And so we're going to be doing some other things too to help out our first-time home buyers. California's got some low homeownership rates, and to really help out our small businesses because we need y'all. You're the backbones of all of our local economies. So we need those small businesses. So then that also means we're going to be doing some workforce development training. And then we'll be partnering with other awesome organizations. That's what we're doing today. You can't see his thumbs up. He's got that going. And so that's what's going on with us for that. And so you are right. You know, we've been in business for 75 years, but AltaOne really had never just said, hey, we're about growing economies. And the best way to do that is to help our small businesses and our other, you know, that's so they can hire more people, be more successful, hire more people themselves, right? And so that's when we said, okay, we're going to put more of a focus on that. And that's when we came up with like, all right, well, how do we do that? Well, we got to get our business products and services in line to help. So we created 4 new checking account programs this year after talking with some of our business owners and said, hey, what do you guys need? So we restructured all of our accounts. We brought on, improved our treasury management services, our merchant card services, brought on payroll and HR solutions, ACH, y'all need positive pay, all the things, you know, maybe courier service, all the things that you need to really help get those businesses growing and just continuing to be awesome. And so from our discussions with that, we were able to go back in and retool, but it's not just about your actual services that our small businesses need. They also needed lending support, right? So we said, okay, well, what other areas do you need lending support in? And so then that helped us create more business lending products. And so that's when we started looking at, all right, let's reevaluate our commercial lending, our lines of credit, our equipment loans, our credit cards, you know, the kind of things that you need on a daily basis, right? You definitely need lines of credit and credit cards on a daily basis to just operate. And so how can we make those products better for you guys to do what you're trying to do? And so then also we do also offer SBA lending right now, but we really hadn't ramped it up enough. And so that was us saying, all right, let's double down on SBA lending, right? So from the express loans to your 7A loans, your 504 loans, really just saying, okay, how can we make all of these better, more access to all of these different pieces of lending. So it's not just, you know, one thing. So we could really serve so many more people. And so that's part of it. So we really are just like doubling down and trying to make that, get that information out there for you guys. So you know what's going on. So like I said, you guys can be awesome. But then also we said, okay, well, you know, like I said, I'm new, right, to the area, but we got to keep growing and investing in it. You know, part of helping communities grow and removing those barriers and inequalities is that access. Access is going to be difficult if you don't actually have somewhere to go. And so we started expanding our branches. And so we expanded in Tehachapi. So what we got was, we actually had a branch in Tehachapi, but it was in an Albertsons. But it's tough for you guys to want to come and like talk real business and get real advice and education with that checkout line right behind you going beep, beep, beep. It's kind of difficult, right? So that meant, and then again, filling in where people are leaving, right? So we actually took over an old Union Bank when they pulled out, because Union Bank just left Tehachapi. And I don't know if you've been in a city where your financial institution just ups and leaves you, right? But so that's what we did. We went in and we filled into that location. And so that was Tehachapi. And then the other thing that we did was in Ridgecrest, again, there was a bank trying to leave Ridgecrest. And so we said, okay, well, we'll take over that location as well and those deposits. And that way the members, their customers for the bank, because they're members with us, those members had a place to go. So they weren't having to drive an hour and a half to get to their nearest, now what would have been their nearest financial institution. And so we expanded it in Ridgecrest as well to make sure that people had that access. And so that's kind of what we've been doing from a branching standpoint to make sure that we did keep that going. But I do want to say something. You did talk about the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and y'all, I am from Texas, And so I'm used to doing big business expos, right? Getting involved. And so when the Chamber of Commerce said, hey, they're doing this business expo, we were like, oh my goodness, we got to be a part of this. We got to like help make it awesome. We want to like really get involved. And y'all, you don't know about me. I didn't tell y'all. I originally started life as a teacher. So my first bachelor's and master's degree are in education. And so I did teach middle school, high school, and college. And then now I'm in credit unions, because the world, it just meanders around, maybe, and your life just goes different places. But so that is really, really important. So I really want y'all to go, right? It's next week. So get that on your calendars, it's from 1 to 4 is going to be the workshops. Knowledge is power. So come and listen and learn. And then the expo itself is going to be from 4 to 7. So you can find some vendors, maybe some partners to help you do what you're trying to do even better, right? So DoubleTree, check it out, Bakersfield, I'll be there. Come say hi to me. Come say hi to me. I would love to see you. But yes, so when we heard about this, I was like, well, like I said, my background's in education. So important. So what can we do? We need to have learning component. And so we jumped all over that. So we're actually going to be doing the breakout sessions for this event for you guys. And we'll be doing them in Spanish and in English because everyone needs to be able to understand this information, right? And it's easiest to understand it in your native language. So if you are a native Spanish speaker, it's going to be easier for you to have that conversation in Spanish. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So all of the breakout sessions will be sponsored by AltaOne, and they will be offered to you in English and in Spanish. And we're going to have 3 topics that we're going to be going over because we didn't have infinite time. So we really needed to whittle down those 3 topics for you guys. And so the first one is going to be in marketing basics, because it's hard to grow your business, right? If you do not have that marketing education, and you need to be able to talk about those things. So we're going to be bringing in some super fantastic people to help y'all like answer all the questions that you want to talk about in marketing. The other one that we're going to be talking about, the other breakout session, is going to be just on business loans. Because sometimes people have questions, well, how do I get that business loans? And maybe some steps that you don't need a business loan right this second, but you're going to need a business loan, right? Or maybe you've been operating with some of those smaller loans, right? Some of the grants, or you're using your credit cards. Let's be real. Businesses sometimes get founded on the backs of credit cards and who you're borrowing and grants and things like that. But when you want to go for that real loan to get that, you want to buy that commercial space or something like that, that's when you need those $1 million loans. And so what are the steps that you need to be taking today to help better position you for a yes, get that win on that loan application? So we'll be talking about that. And then also what everybody needs, right? You need to know, like, let's get smarter with our taxes, because part of that is when you go for those loans, we're going to have to ask for those tax returns. Everybody's going to ask for those tax returns. So maybe like, what are some things that you could be doing? Maybe there's some loopholes, some write-offs you're not taking advantage of. Maybe you're not thinking about that because you're like, well, I'm just trying to get my tax bracket down, so I don't want to pay all these taxes. But you need to think about it from a holistic point of view. So like, what can we do to help you do better on those taxes? So come on out. It's going to be awesome. And like, y'all, it's free. So holy moly, what could be better than that? Nothing is better. Free education. Come on. It's going to be fantastic. So come on out. If you want some tickets, you can pick them up I have got 2 branches in Bakersfield. I've got one we call our Ming branch and one our Riverwalk branch. You can check them out. We'll be giving them free tickets. So come on in there and get your free ticket. Also, if you're a member of AltaOne, we send them to you directly, getting a hold of you so that you know that you have a ticket because you're my member, which means you're my owner, which technically means you're my boss. So if any of you are an AltaOne member, or you want to just come be my boss, feel free to join AltaOne. It's free to join, guys. And you get to be my boss. It's crazy, right? You know, we're governed by they're volunteers. My board of directors, unpaid volunteers of the members, made up of the members. So if you ever were like, I want to be that lady's boss, join up, come to our annual meeting and run for the board of directors. That's absolutely within your prerogative to do. So that's that.
Well, thank you. And now let's talk about some of this stuff. That's great.
Sure.
I'm excited.
Sorry.
I'm going to get as much energy as you have when I get older. I'm sure. So let me just do a little stop the screen here. And yeah, go ahead and stop the screen. And let's start talking about some of the things that are happening here and get you in here. And there we are. Mr. Microphone back.
Friends.
Okay, here we go.
No. Yeah, keep it like that. That's perfect. No. Oh,
Look,
no.
you and the mic, you know. Okay, so I was excited when I learned about the CDFI. I was excited about the date I just heard too, because we had been doing a meeting in Bishop where we had about 60 entrepreneurs show up on May 31st, which I know is the day after Memorial Day. I didn't think an event would work that well the day after Memorial Day, and it did. So we had about 60 people turn out, and a few of us got together that night and talked about all the things that we need in the Eastern Sierra and the rural parts of Kern County. And the first thing, or not the first thing, but it did come up was, and this is the truth, we need AltaOne to get a CDFI designation. And I kid you not, because you have that footprint that spreads that entire area. You have branch in Bishop, used to have one in Mammoth Lakes. Mono County wants more branches. Rosamond wants more branches. You want to open branches, man, there's plenty of people looking for them.
Those are on our list, actually, because they need services.
Bridgeport, June Lake, you know, Mammoth's a little pricey. I could see why. I think you moved that branch from Mammoth to Bishop, but I'm not sure. So anyway, the CDFI designation was groundbreaking when we heard that. I was so excited. So talk to it, what's happening, what's going on with that, and where you see it going.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. We're actually in the process of applying for a grant right now for $15 million so that we can reinvest those funds and help everybody in all of our communities. And so we do have, our branch footprint is, we are certified as a credit union to be in Kern, Inyo, and Mono County. But when we applied for our CDFI designation, they actually gave us a huge footprint in other states too, because there was such a need that nobody was certified in those areas. And so they were really like, hey, can you guys consider some other areas as well? And so that is definitely on our list to look at serving as many people as we possibly can. So like I said, we're applying for a grant. I think the grant application is technically due next month, and then we will find out the beginning of Q1 of next year if we get that money. And if we do get that money, fingers crossed for everybody, can't say it, fingers crossed for everybody, because all 100% of that $15 million will be spent in Kern, Inyo, Mono counties, trying to help individuals improve themselves, improve their lives, and get those inequalities that exist.
Well, in that application, you know, because there's a lot of, you know, the one thing about CDFIs is that my knowledge of CDFIs, and you're one of 5 designations being a credit union. There's also banks and nonprofits, equity, venture funds, and loan funds, if I recall. So you being a credit union, you are going to be serving, and you have probably allocated, or at least mentioned in an application you're submitting, who you hope to serve with that.
Yes, we have. So in this particular grant, it's a little bit more defined for us. They actually designated or areas, right, that they have said, okay, these places need economic recovery. And so those are the areas that we are really, really big. You can actually Google it and you can see if you actually live in an IRF area. So the funds will definitely be targeted in areas that need recovery help, right, from COVID. So if any small businesses that were struggling in those areas, that's really who we're going to target first. The ones that are hit the hardest and the ones that need it the most, those are the areas that we're going to focus on first. And so you've got, you know, almost every city is covered in there by some degree. I mean, we are looking at it down to the street level. That's as much as we are getting down in the weeds on these. So you've got some East Bakersfield, you've got, you know, areas, Rosamond has got some areas over there. There's really basically areas throughout everywhere. So many people were impacted. And so that is going to be the focus, but it is going to have to be in those IRF areas. And so we can actually publicize where those areas are so people can find that to see if you are located in that area.
That's great. So I would imagine it's individuals, consumers, business products, maybe.
100%. So yes, so we're going to look at even doing things like down payment assistance grants, right? Because that's the biggest hurdle in buying a house, right? Is accumulating that down payment. And so if we can help you with that, we're going to be looking at doing small business grants, right? And, you know, different grant loans, and you don't have to, you know, these are to help you get going and get, you know, you don't have to pay us back. So some small business grants there as well. And then also for any of you guys that are out there running a nonprofit, you guys do amazing work, and we are all in this together, and we really all need each other. So we're actually going to be offering grants to other nonprofit entities to help them continue the awesome work that they are doing too, because we can't do everything. But I think that's where partnerships come in.
So that application, does that go to the U.S. Treasury?
It goes, yes, that is a piece of it, that they do get a piece of that. And this is probably, and I don't know if you know this, right? They actually had to put a pause on allowing people to get, CDFI certified, right? Because of this particular grant is kind of like, well, we're in a grant. Like, this is not, so I've actually been the CEO of 5 other credit unions, and they have all become CDFI certified. So this is very important to me, you know, and so it was, that's why we got that, you know, but so this is a super grant. They've never given out this kind of money. And so they didn't want these people to just, I don't want to call everybody doing good work. I'm going to say is doing good work and for a good reason and everything, but to keep people from, you know, just kind of throwing in and trying to get a CDFI designation just to get grant money. You know what I mean? So we got this before and we knew about this grant, but yeah, no, I mean, it's really amazing what's going on right now. So.
Well, great. I was going to ask that question because I did hear about the 6-month pause, but I didn't understand why it had happened.
Because that's unusual.
Yeah.
It is, but that's it. This is because this is the super grant that's going on. And then we're also applying outside of this regular for just our regulars, the regular version CDFI grants. Those are only.
Well, the great thing also is that there is such a need, and this is really going to be designed, I would imagine, for most of our underserved members of our community. So you're looking at, you know, minorities, people of color, low income, historically low income, rural veterans, women-owned business owners, and even more. So there's a tremendous need in, at least in our 3-county area, and specifically probably in Kern County, for those type programs. So
yeah, when we looked at the data on this, we saw that there was an enormous need, right? I mean, and so we got to do our part. I mean, we really do have to do our part because, you know, like I said at the beginning, we are a not-for-profit. AltaOne's a not-for-profit financial cooperative. We literally were started by a bunch of people that sat around a table and said, let's all throw $5 in the middle of a pot and we're going to take a turn borrowing it, because individually I don't have enough money to do something awesome, but collectively I do. And so then when you take a turn, you borrow it and you pay the money back, and the next person borrows it and pays the money back. And so that's how we operate. So like, that is our mission. We were chartered to help each other. And so I think that, you know, we have to stick to that.
I got to check how we're doing on time.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Oh, we got it. Okay, so we talked a little bit. You have anything else to add on CDFI before we move to SBA lending?
No.
Well, it's exciting. I mean, I am very excited, and you're going to find in the rural areas of Kern and also in Inyo and Mono counties, you're going to find a huge need. You know, I have had, you know, when we get into the SBA 504 program, for example, I have had Keith Bryce tell me, Mid-State Development, who is a solid conservative lender, I will do that deal, and I can't find a bank to do it.
I know, we sat with them. So we actually went out and met them and talked to them about this. And he told me that too. And I'm just like, you know what? Look no further. We got you.
And
we got all y'all.
I understand East Kern, Inyo, Mono, they are unique areas, and a lot of people don't understand it. If you're not in this area, if you are not doing work in this business or you're in this area, then you don't understand it. So I could see kind of the points. And I could even go to an example of a business in Bishop that's one of our SBDC clients who has a major project going on, a construction project, and he got a loan with an East Coast lender, and it's been a nightmare.
That makes me so sad. That makes me so sad. Like,
he should have waited.
He
should have waited a couple of years.
I know. If I had just come sooner.
Yeah, I know. Why didn't you? I don't understand.
I needed more Californians to get over there so I could buy their house. I had to get to Texas. But no, I know. I heard about that, and it kills me. It breaks my heart. And so, yeah, no. I mean, we do. You're right. We have branches everywhere, right? And we really do focus on putting our branches in areas that need it. So you're talking about, you know, we're in Lone Pine, we're in Bishop, right? So we've been speaking with Rosamond. That's crazy. I don't have financial institution. Gotta help those guys out. We're coming for you guys. I already told y'all. I commit. So yeah. So, but that's true. And so, and that is, even if we don't have a physical location in those areas, that is part of what we are trying to do. So we don't have to have a physical location, but we are able to reach out. We're been here for 75 years. So, you know, we know what's going on here.
So on the SBA side, have you started a SBA department, or what is your focus on SBA? Let's talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, so that was part of the acquisition. So we bought a bank branch.
So you're a banker now.
No, we converted them. We converted them to being in the co-op world. We're not a bank anymore. We're not for profit.
So if you're a credit union, you're not a banker. Are you a credit unioner?
We're credit unioner.
Okay.
We do credit union. No.
Good.
We say banking. That's weird.
Okay.
So anyway, but no, yeah. So we've actually acquired a bank branch earlier this year.
Mhm.
And part of that was for the fantastic team, right, who had been doing SBA loans and very experienced. And so we bring that team over. So now we have a head of business lending, an entire business lending department. And so, yeah, we've just been finalizing the T's and I's on that so that we can help so many more people. It kills me when I heard about the lack of opportunity, and that is unfair. And it's not just unfair for that business. I mean, because you think about it, it's not just unfair for that business. Think about all the people that they could have employed, right, or in their household and their family, and then just generational wealth and setting the example for the next generation. I have 4 children, y'all. So it is important for me to set that example for my children that they can really do anything and be anything, but they need to see from their adults, what's possible. So that's where you need us. We need to get involved.
So SBA 7A loan?
Yes.
7As?
Yep. 7As,
504s?
504s, Express. You got
Express?
it. Yep.
Wow, great.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
one of my biggest needs when I came to Kern County in 2012, I came to Bakersfield, and it was after the recession, the Great Recession, and the economy was good for the U.S. and the state of California, good locally. But it was because the oil was high, and I couldn't find SBA lenders because the oil service industry, and there was so much going on in oil and ag and everything else. It's very hard. And really, it's really exciting seeing you come back. And I really want to see us go back to the projection-based deals for startups. I know they're hard for lenders to make, but they went away. They were here. They make sense. Some of them make sense. And maybe, through CDFI and some of the other programs, we can get back to those.
I mean, we can look at that. I'm not opposed to looking at anything. I liked your Shark Tank thing that you were talking about, like the reverse Shark Tank.
Flip it. Yeah.
I love that.
Flip it.
That's why I was like, oh, we need to do that.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun. Let's do that.
Well, you just throw a lot of programs at people, and not everybody's going to qualify for them, but it gives them the opportunity to see what's out there, stuff that's very big. Like oftentimes we'll have the Central Valley Fund there, and they're doing $10 million deals. And oftentimes there's not a $10 million deal in the room, but it's something to grow to, something to aspire to, something to take that business at this point and get to a point down the road to where you can get there. And then it's something from microloans. I mean, the CDFIs we've worked with Access Plus. We've worked with the Opportunity Fund before they merged out of San Jose. They did a few really unique, interesting deals for us. And also, I forget their acronym. I'm so bad. But it's
we have acronyms for everything.
That's just too many acronyms.
So many. XYZ. Just
RCAC, RCAC. Anyway, they're a CDFI in 13 Western states, and they've done quite a bit of stuff. So, it's interesting, but really having a local CDFI can't be there.
I know. And y'all can reach out to me. Like, I really not just, if you go to our website and you go to contact us, you can click contact us. The first thing on the contact us is, do you want to talk to the CEO? And you click right there. Those emails come directly to me, and they don't get filtered by anyone else. And so I put that out there as soon as I got here, and I've had people reach out. And so this is where a lot of that comes from. Like, well, what do you need? And people will send me emails like, hey, it'd be great if we had this, or, I'm getting these other communities like, hey, we need this. And so a lot of what we're trying to do is based on that demand, because we only have so much time. We only have so many resources. So we really need, had to pin down what that demand is. And actually, talking about microloans, we just did our strategic planning, our first round of strategic planning for next year. You got to start on that so early.
That's good.
Right, got to start on that so early.
Strategic plan is
strategic plans. And it is important. In fact, you guys were talking about all the different counseling opportunities. So y'all, strategic plans is my teacher mode for 1 second. Strategic plans are not that thing that you just put together to turn into your lender. Okay. It lives on your desk and you write on it and you keep it out. That business plan, it's a real living document. Don't just give it to get the loan and then kind of toss that. So I always say that, don't just put it in a desk drawer and get dusty and bring it out. It's a real thing. But so that's what determines success or not. Anyway, in that conversation, that's part of what we were talking about. Is like, most businesses are getting financed by their parents, friends and family, credit cards, home equity loans, you know what I mean? So those micro loans are very important.
Yes. So while I'm going to empty my wish list,
Okay.
I'm emptying my wish list on you.
Let's do it.
Are you going to be doing any USDA funding programs? They have their rural economic development loan programs. They go to $30 million.
Yes.
Strip centers and such.
I am with you. So we actually just brought in, not just, but earlier this year, I hired an amazing individual to be our chief lending officer. And so he came with a lot of experience so that we can get things up and running. And he came with all sorts of ideas like airplane loans, boat loans. Although I'm in Ridgecrest, we're nowhere near any water whatsoever. We do have airports.
You have China Lake.
We do. That's right. And China Lake. It's very confusing that that's a naval base. But so I'm a Navy brat. I was like, where's the water? But so I brought in a really experienced chief lending officer so that we can get all of these, because that's what we need.
So other things, I did mention that state small business credit initiative. I hope you take a look at that, because those are one of them. When you talked about with the CDFI making down payments, doing the down payments. Yeah, the flip-flop on that on business is having a program that supports business loans that are low on collateral or don't have enough collateral. So they have a loan program for that that's in this thing that will actually create the collateral and actually fund the collateral aspect if all the other 4 C's of your credit analysis make sense.
So awesome.
So a lot of things out there, a lot of different products, a lot of exciting times.
I mean, that's the main thing, right? If people don't know, that's what's so awesome about what you're doing, right? You're giving people
what you're doing.
Well, what we're doing.
Okay.
Teamwork. But it's so awesome. Giving people access to information creates opportunity.
Okay. Well, you have time to ask some questions, and if you don't take advantage of this, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you'll want to ask questions. You heard Stephanie talk about business planning and strategic planning. 3 weeks, we'll have Josh Feggles from Live Plan on. We love the Live Plan format. So I'm going to throw that plug out there since she's talking about it. Let's go and see what we have in here for. The first one is this event only for Kern County residents. Now, that's back from 12/20. So now I have to try to remember what we were talking about at 12/20 because it's an occupational hazard.
Was that the reverse Shark Tank thing?
The Eastern Sierra Capital Summit or the Capital Summit, one of the two, or any of those. Most of the stuff we're talking about today is Kern and Yuma. I know we get other viewers from throughout Central California on. But
the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is free for everybody. It doesn't matter. If you can make your way there, you can go.
That's right. So if you want to be a little more specific on that, and I apologize because, we do jump in and a lot of these questions are from a little while ago where we received a PowerPoint slides containing the information covered in today's presentation. We can make that available. We usually do, with Maureen being on vacation. Maureen usually will send out, and one of, I think, our best practices of this webinar is what we send out is we send out a list of all the things in chat as far as all the items that we talked about, all the links where you can go to the website and find those if you were unable to get into the chat box. We also send a copy of the recording, so you have your own recording. And oftentimes we will send the slides, but not always. But it might come a little late this week because, again, vacations, what are you going to do? So yes, usually we do. If not, it will be on YouTube. This will be on YouTube. We did mention earlier about these webinars are on YouTube. And Stephanie has not told me or grabbed me around the neck saying, don't put my video on YouTube. So
I just wish we wouldn't have had that picture. I hate pictures.
I've got to introduce you to a better photographer. That's all it is.
No good.
Is it okay I'm attending even though I'm in Contra Costa County? Wow. Your rich information on your webinar. Well, thank you from Contra Costa County. Yes, you can attend the Hispanic Chamber event. We encourage you to do so. And we encourage you to, move to Kern and Yuma County, or at least you don't even have to move. Buy a business here. There's businesses for sale and other things too. But yes, there's there's plenty of information. Our Capital Summit is going to be virtual as well, if you're alluding to that. And hopefully there are some more questions. I could keep asking Stephanie questions, but this is a great opportunity for you. Okay, I have a small office right here locally in the Indian Wells Valley and plan to reach out directly to AltaOne Credit Union Global Headquarters on their website soon for financial assistance. And I really have enjoyed this webinar. I can let you comment on that.
I love that. I love it when people reach out. I really do. I'm not kidding. CEO is just a different position on the team. I tell people that all the time. I just play a different position on team. Everybody has a team position. You're the pitcher, you're the catcher, you're the first baseman. I'm the CEO. That just designates my position on the team. But, I am no different than anybody else. I got 4 kids in school. I drive a minivan. Please reach out to me anytime you have questions.
Do your kids play soccer?
No, actually, I have runners,
Oh,
which
good.
is shocking because I
Good.
can't run. Running to the restroom is about as far as I can run. It's too much. So I don't do that. I don't know where this running thing
Take up
came from.
cycling. Just ride your bike along.
Whee! That's just that's exercise. I promise to do that. My doctor said I need to. Getting older. But yeah, no, I think it's totally cool. Anyone can reach out to me. You don't even need to be a member to reach out to me. I do not care. That's why I put it out there, right? Because we're all people helping people, and good ideas on helping people come from everywhere. So yeah, reach out anytime for sure, 100%. Oh, I don't.
Okay, there you better.
That's better. That's better, much better.
Okay.
Oh, but anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
So if there are any photographers out there, you can reach out to me directly.
I need
And I will
help.
give you Stephanie's contact information. She doesn't need help. She just needs a photographer.
I think I was running away in that.
Was that a
picture.
selfie?
No, I'm literally I think I'm backing away, wait a minute.
Okay.
Don't take that picture.
Well, maybe if I had a newer iPhone, I would actually do that for you, but I don't think I would help you much at all either. Okay, so any last comments?
No, I just think that I do hope you come out. I'm super excited to see the couple of people that had questions or said some comments, but you don't hear, right? Because that just shows that you're taking initiative for you, right? You're taking initiative. That's the first step, right? Reaching out to get that information. And then you're well, am I in this area or not? And I'm always don't even ask, just do it, right? Just get out there, get that information. No one can stop you from educating you. And I think that that's really commendable. So I want to give you high five, Lisa, I think it was, and I can't remember the other one, for taking the time to say I'm not necessarily there, but I'm not going to stop my brain from going there. So I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd love to meet y'all. If y'all come out to the Hispanic Business Expo, if you guys have ideas on things that we could do to get you some more information, I think that's really awesome.
And hopefully that grant comes in. I'll be crossing my fingers and probably my toes.
Yeah, we're excited.
And that comes in, and then the money starts rolling in the programs,
That's right.
and we're going to have a great 2023.
I know, doing it for everybody, right? Somebody's, if not you, then who, right? If not us, then who? So we asked ourselves. You ask yourself that too. If not you, then who?
And when that happens, you'll have to come back on the webinar then.
Okay, and tell everybody how they can come and get some of that.
Come
We can
get
help
your
them.
money.
That's right, all about it.
My recommendation would be a wheelbarrow giveaway. As much money as you can carry away in your wheelbarrow.
We did an event the other day, and we partnered with KUZZ at an event in Tehachapi, and they said, well, we can bring out the money machine. And I don't know about you, but I thought that meant the wind tunnel, where you're grab the money. Apparently it wasn't. That's not what that meant.
Oh, no.
I'm in a giant slot machine. I was does it spit the money at you? And they're no. So maybe I just need to find someone to innovate this for me, so we can have that kind of thing. Here's your money, hop in the thing and get it.
Okay. Well, my final comment on your credit union, you have an awesome branch in Richard Bishop. So let me move on. Next week, we're going to be back. We're going to have Bill Britton. Bill is from Cal Poly. He's cybersecurity expert. He's going to be introducing some very new stuff for small businesses to protect themselves. Cybersecurity is a big threat. I'm sure you
100%.
see probably really a lot of problems in that. A little note on what's coming up after that is we anticipate Dr. Aaron Hitke get back into the economy and get back with our chief economist, as I like to say, even though he's just the head of the economics department at Cal State Bakersfield. And on September 7th, we will be live in San Diego at our Association of Small Business Development's International Conference, where Maureen and I will be, I am proud to say, presenting. And we will be presenting on some of the best practices during the pandemic. And this is one of them. Thank you everyone out there for allowing us to make this happen. But before that, we will have Josh Fegels from Live Plan, and we will be talking about all the planning opportunities for small businesses. That's right, do your planning. Plan, then execute. Stephanie, it's been a blast.
Thanks so much. This is fun.
It is fun. Huh?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, this is the fun part. So thank you again. And for everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you then.
Yay, that was fun.